Welcome back, friends. Today we are doing our tasting of Cali Sober, which I'm super excited about. The very first time I really tried these or met them, I went to the Hemp Beverage Festival, first of its kind in Minneapolis in June. Not only was the branding amazing, their booth amazing, the drinks amazing, but their founders were so cool. I had so much fun talking spiritual awakenings with them, what we see in the world over the next 10 to 15 years. It was really cool. But just looking at their packaging alone, it's so fun. They're really playing on that 90s vibe. Gosh, I remember, and this is going to date me, 20 years ago when I went to college at Florida State, the 80s were big. Everything was like 80s playlist, 80s night at whatever Floyd's, I think it was. I can't remember. But it's funny because now watching this latest generation 20 years later, it's like, oh, now the 90s are big. But the can alone reminds me of Saved by the Bell, is the only way I can put it. And if you don't know what that big brick cell phone is that Zach Morris used to carry, you're probably a lot younger than I am, is all I can say. I always drink mine in a glass. I feel like when I drink it just out of the can, some of that carbonation gets lost. It's almost like pushed out of there. I don't know. I didn't drink much beer, but I never really drank beer out of a thing anyway. So I always pour mine into a glass. And the reason being, I also really like to see its flavor. If I'm going to drink like tailgate and do things kind of all day, then I might go for like a lighter, clearer seltzer water, which a lot of the drinks on the market are. But usually if I'm at home between that 4 to 6 hour where it's like my wind down happy hour, play with the kids, I want a much more like flavorful, real mocktail cocktail, almost like having a glass of wine. I don't want to feel like I'm drinking a flavored water. I want the experience as much as I want the effects of it. And just looking at Cali Sober in a glass, it gives me that. I don't feel like I'm just holding another water. So you can see the beautiful, almost rosé color to it here. The flavor that I went with is Berry Ginger Fizz. And just from the smell, you couldn't see this, but well, you could, what you saw, but what you didn't sense was that when I went like this and moved it, the wind brought up that berry note up, and it was, So it definitely has not a wine smell. It's almost like if Candyland or the fair, just something very sweet and fun comes to mind when I smell this. Let's try it. That is definitely, it's a fun forward. Like, I don't want to say candy because I'm not like a big candy person, but it definitely has that sweetness to it, but almost like just a little bit of tartness on the back end. So if it was overpowering sweet like cotton candy, I would say absolutely not. But it's almost like the smell and the nose of it has that full flavor of sweetness and fun and candy. But when you drink it, it gives you that lightness of drinking like a real something made from berries, but with that sour tartness to it. Yeah. It's not as full flavor as some of the other ones where it almost like encompasses your entire mouth and taste buds, but a very straightforward taste that you know what you're getting with just that lingering aftertaste and lightness. And I think that's why I drank so many of them by the pool this summer, is because it still tasted full flavor and I could enjoy it, but I didn't feel like it was this heaviness, especially when you're in a swimsuit with 3 young kids as a mom. Like, you don't want to feel heavy, right? But I still wanted to enjoy and have a full flavor. And I'm realizing that that's exactly what the Cali Sober Berry Ginger Fizz did for me. And I can tell you, it definitely put me in a good mood for swimming with 3 kids under 4. Why everybody else was pounding. I wouldn't say pounding. I don't really hang out with friends that are taking shots or anything like that anymore. So I don't mean it like that. But I know in our fridge, like, there's still a leftover bottle of white wine from the last person that was over here. Some like tequila infused cocktails. And this was the perfect substitute for me in between those. So on a scale, I don't really have a scale yet, so let's ignore that. But Cali Sober also has two other flavors. They also have their Paloma and their ranch water. If you're from the Midwest, you're like, ranch water, I don't know. But ranch water is a drink specific to Texas, which is where Cali Sober is out of. So I highly recommend trying it. They're always in my fridge. This is a good go-to for me that I usually keep on stock, on hand. Love to have people try it. And 10 out of 10. This is one that I would recommend. I would have again. It's 5 milligrams. So for someone that drinks these regularly now, this is very baseline, easy for me. It's like having one glass of wine when you're trying to relax for happy hour. Anything more than that would be a little much for me. That would be like a night out. If you're just getting started, 5 might be too much. I would recommend starting with 2.5, maybe split with a friend, or just drink half of it, pop it in the fridge, and then see how your body reacts. It usually takes about 15 to 30 minutes for beverages to onset. And then you can sit in that for an hour, hour and a half, see how you feel, and then drink more when you're ready. So you don't have to overdo it. You can really slowly build to get where you want. But for me, as a regular, 5 is perfect, and I highly recommend the Cali Sober. Cheers.